What is up, everyone? It's Devontae. Welcome back to my channel. For everybody new, welcome to my channel. Every week we come here to talk about new ideas that bring us value and information that brings us value that I research, I learn, and then I bring back to you. In this video, you already know it's 5 things no one told me to expect as an adult. Imagine that if you clicked on it, you're already subscribed and you just want to hear me ramble. But if you're new, I hope that this video gives you some value, and I hope it makes you consider subscribing. This is all my personal experience that people may or may not identify with too, so please take everything I say with a grain of salt. And the most controversial one is at the end, so I hope you stay tuned all the way until the end. I hope you leave a like, comment down below, and also turn on those post notification bells so that you get notified whenever I post a video every week, and it just makes sure that you see that I'm posting. So per usual, I try to make this the ritual on the channel. Go ahead and grab your coffee. I'll give you time. I'll actually give you time this time. One of the first things that no one told me to expect being an adult is that income is more important than budgeting. I made that one the last one. There are so many videos and pieces of content surrounding the idea of cutting your expenses and correctly budgeting what is left. Not many creators speak about the fact that the true issue lies in, for most people, they just don't make enough money. One of the first things that I realized, which transitioned me to start working 80 hours per week in my last apartment, was that having a higher income was more important than cutting the expenses that I already had. There is only so much that you can cut. I'm not saying to not follow a budget and not to cut unnecessary expenses. Like, there are definitely some things that we can cut out that we don't need. But when you're already barely bringing enough money and you've cut the expenses as low as you can get them and things are still tight, you have an income issue, not a spending issue. So having a higher income is more important than budgeting was the first thing that I learned as an adult that I was not taught. Increase your income. One of the next things that I learned being an adult that no one taught me was gonna be the case is that social hierarchies still exist. Yes, the idea that you're competing to be at the top, the bottom, the middle of some social class system is still a thing. But you remember how it was in high school. There were the kids that were the nerds. There were the kids that were the athletes. There were the kids that were just popular because they were pretty, attractive, or they had money and just status. They were funny. And then you had those people who blended between all those different things. Most adults aren't that much separated emotionally and intellectually from high schoolers. There's still a class system in place based on more than just status. You have money, careers, the amount of partners you have, your relationship status in general, where you travel to, how many vacations you take. There are so many things to be the basis of your status now as an adult. People never stop ranking themselves in these imaginary categories. Comparison is the unseen war of adulthood. Social hierarchy still exists. One of the next things that I learned as an adult that I kind of suspected when I was in high school, but I had no one to prove it to me, was that college isn't for everyone, but education is. Now, going to college is the normal expectation directly after graduating high school. As a matter of fact, while you're in your senior year, you begin applying to different colleges, seeing where you can get accepted. And all those skills and trades are, or at least in my case, that were presented to us, there isn't enough emphasis on the fact that college isn't the next move for everyone. Had I gone to university directly after college, I don't believe I would finish. I hated high school, I hated building new connections, I hated structure, and I didn't have a strong financial foundation. Now that I've overcome most of those obstacles in particular, and I've experienced more life, and I learned more lessons being an adult, I made the conscious decision to go ahead and pick a degree path that is profitable for the amount of money that it costs. And there's projected job growth, things that they don't teach you to look for also. Overall, I think college is marketed completely wrong to too many students. However, education is crucial even if college isn't for you. For instance, at the job the other day, I was picking up some new uniforms because It was a anniversary thing they do. They give you new uniforms. And I was talking to this guy, and he was asking me about my plans for the company. And I told him that I was going to school, and he just told me straight up that school isn't for him. He tried it, and it just wasn't for him. And I'm like, I think it's important that you know that. There are several people in college right now that don't know that they don't need to be there. And that maybe that the reason they're there is the wrong reason, or maybe that the time they're there is the wrong time. But he knew for himself that it wasn't for him. And you could argue that that's a limiting belief, and that maybe he just didn't try hard enough. But I do not think that all things are created equal and fair. You might have that opportunity, but not everybody is meant to have the same outcome. Knowing yourself is definitely a big part of this. Plenty of high earning skills that can net you a better outcome than a degree holder. A lot of people who have degrees work at the job that I work at that doesn't require one. So courses, job training, management, sales, education will always be necessary. College, not necessarily. The fourth thing that I learned as an adult that no one told me to expect is that it's all on you. Now, I kind of heard that from teachers and my mom growing up, and a couple different people that was telling me, when you get out of high school, we won't be holding your hand anymore. They don't actually state just how much pressure is put on you to do the right thing. Luckily, I was pretty self-sufficient in my teenage years, being that my mom was still working, and so I really developed my work ethic and responsibility early. But absolutely no one is encouraging you to pay your rent. No one is making you clock into work every day. No one is checking to make sure your assignments are turned in on time. No one makes you do your laundry, and no one tells you to clean your room and your bathroom. Although you may have people who care about you, a significant other, a friend, roommate, your parents, you'll see that no one cares as much about what you need to get done than you. If you need something done, you become the parent, the big brother, the auntie, the big sister, the teacher, the babysitter, and you make yourself do things. That's what you're supposed to do as an adult. There's an old quote that my art teacher in high school used to say. He used to say that we had it wrong about being adults. Kids do what they want. Adults do what they must. That was in response to people always saying that, adults get to do whatever they want to do. And he used to tell us no. So take care of yourself like you're the person you're responsible for. It's something that Jordan Peterson says in his book, 12 Rules for Life, if I quoted it correctly. But just keep that in mind. It's all on you. And last but not least, here goes the controversial ones. You are the product of your environment. I know people were like, oh no, it's not possible. I can't be. I can be different. You can. You have the freedom to choose and make use of opportunities that are available to you. Are they fair? No. Is it available to everyone? Likely not. But usually, people are the product of their environment. When someone is successful, it's usually because they're around successful people. When someone has a not so successful path, just in situations that they could have avoided that were just not the best decisions that they can make, it was likely that they were around people making similar decisions. So you are the product of your environment. There's a saying for parents that goes, kids don't do what you say, they do what you do. It showcases that humans, especially the malleable minds of children, are masters of mimicry. There was a lot of M's going on. We assume the identities that we see naturally. That is something that's intrinsically in us as humans to mimic. When 5 of your friends drink and you don't, it doesn't mean that you'll start drinking immediately. What it means now is that you're tolerant of alcohol in your environment. And there's nothing wrong with alcohol. I drink from time to time, but this is just to show an analogy. It shows that changes in our environment stimulate changes in ourselves. So you being adjacent to the alcohol is the first step that must take place in order for you to start drinking. So ask yourself this: what's in my environment? Who are the 2 to 5 people that I hang around the most? What things do they do that I didn't do before, but I do them now? List 3 good things and bad things. Are they the people or the places that you usually go? Things that my ideal future self would associate with. As much as we think that we're impervious to influence, I think the opposite is true. The more we try to prove that we aren't under any type of influence, the truer it becomes that we are. You're the product of your environment, and that is either a good thing or a bad thing. The point being, if it is bad, you have to identify a problem to solve it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This week's video was 5 things no one told me to expect as an adult. Feel free to like, make sure you comment down below a lesson that you learned as an adult that no one taught you, and do you agree or disagree? Subscribe, hit that notification bell so you see every week Friday 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when I post. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next week. I'm Devontae, and I'm out.